Hey Nicole, thanks for thinking of me when you were considering who to ask about their teaching experiences in technology. So to answer your first question, I teach language arts, grades 10 and 12 still, although I also taught ninth grade. I'm certified to teach grades 7 through 12. I have been teaching for 18 years at Northmont High School, all 18. As far as the second question, you asked, do I use tech? Yes, I use tech all the time. I use my iPad and my projector and my laptop in the classroom, and every year I try to explore something different. I use several different apps. Currently I still use Shobi along with some other applications that can be used on both the computer and the iPad. This year I'm trying something a little different with some of my students. In the past I've had them do some online discussions using Edmodo. This year I'm thinking about using Blogger with some of my seniors, so we'll see how that goes. If there are any other apps that come my way that I think might be useful, I usually try to give them a whirl at least once in a while. Some of the applications I use are meant to be for writing purposes or journaling purposes, and then other times they're kind of like review materials that I try to use different things in an effort to kind of get students hopefully a little bit more engaged with some of the information that they are hopefully starting to learn through the various things that we are doing in class. And then the last question that you asked had to do with, do I run into problems with tech, or what are those problems? Some of the problems are as simple as the server not being working, and so that can cause some issues where we have to kind of old school it, and I have to write things on the board. Other issues sometimes end up being that things can get blocked at the school, since there are some materials that are considered too sensitive, or just something about the website that maybe I want my students to use may or may not be considered appropriate, just based on something that might be in the URL. Some other problems I've run into is that sometimes there are limitations to some of the apps that I've come across that I wasn't aware of when I first started using them. And in a few other cases it comes down to actually the user having problems. Sometimes my students aren't willing to use the tech, and in other cases they aren't as tech savvy as I would assume they would be. And a few other limitations might include my students not necessarily wanting to use the tech all the time. So hopefully that answers your questions, and thank you for asking me. See you later. Bye.